Good morning. Ras Grove the Ragamuffin Soldier in a park, talking, because it's always the same, I mean, it don't matter what you're doing. Communication is always the key. Communication. And the people who's running this thing, they know communication is the key. That's why they keep everybody separate. You know what I mean? Everybody is just separate, and we are living on some crap, and we put our trust in men. That's how we're supposed to live. Put our trust in men, and they make it look like we're really putting our trust in God, but we're really putting our trust in men, because these men made themselves the representative of God or the image of God, or whatever they're trying to do. But they are the one deciding what God says. You know what I mean? And so as long as they deciding, and they know God better than everybody else, and so they can decide what God say. So, you know what I mean? They're in a perfect position because they're in touch with God now. And so they can tell the rest of us what God say. And we just have to go along with it because we don't know God as well as these people. You know what I mean? These wicked, money-hungry, bloodthirsty people, they know God better than everybody else. So, that's how they got us living. And it's a funny thing with the one. The thing is, it's like we are so divided and stupid. It's like this. We got poor people fighting against each other over what? Both of them poor, they got nothing to gain really over fighting each other because the rich folks already got everything. So what are poor people fighting about? I guess we're fighting over our image. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to have a better image, something better than the other person. So, I mean, and all of it is really crap. It's all mumbo jumbo crap, and the only real thing for people to do with their life is to be themselves. That's the only real thing for people to do. So, when you're living your life, if you can't be yourself, it's stressful, man. It's stressful people who live in their life and they can't be themselves, because there is no way that you could live a life not being yourself and not have it be stressful to you. And African people is in the position to be the most stressed out of everybody, because we are the ones at the bottom of the ladder with no nation. We don't have any nation to say this is a black nation and we can go seek refuge. So we don't have no place for refuge, because we've been on the siege for so long that everybody now is done got used to treating black people like crap. And yeah, and it's the funny thing, every time I see something like this, it always really upset me, because these people took advantage of us, and they don't give a hell now. You know what I mean? They got what they want and they don't give a hell. They don't give a damn about what happened to black people. It's like these the English Empire especially, the English Empire. They're deciding that they're going to take African slaves and take them to India during the time when they were dominating everybody. So they take the African people, take them to India, and then when the Indian and Gandhi chased the British out of India, they left the African slaves behind. They leave the African people behind after they got chased out of India. So now the African people, they in India, they done learn to speak that Indian language and got adjusted into Indian society. But you see something? If you know about Indian society is a caste system. And when I say it is a caste system, it's like this. It doesn't matter how smart you are or whatever talented you are. If you came from parents that at the bottom of the ladder, you're going to stay at the bottom of the ladder. There is no upward mobility in Indian society. It's a caste system. The people who cast themselves to be on top is going to be on top, and whatever caste they put you in, you're going to be in that caste for all your generations, forever and ever. There is no upward mobility in Indian society. So you could imagine that these black people, they're over there in India now, and they're at the bottom of Indian society. They are at the bottom of Indian society, and at the in Indian society, the lowest people, they call those people the outcasts. They mean that the outcasts, they have nothing positive to contribute to society. They have nothing to do with society. They're the outcasts, they're out there, and the people in control do whatever they want with them. And these are Indian people treating Indian people like that. So you could imagine the black folks over there, they're put in a category below that. They're put in a category below these outcast Indian folks. So they live in an even worse life than the Indian outcasts. You know, so they're trapped over there in India. And you know, and the people get so used to using up these black people and treating them any kind of way that, you know what I mean? The Indian Prime Minister, he comes out and talks about, boy, you all shouldn't be thinking about going back to Africa. You all should stay right here with us. You all been here for hundreds of years, and you all done got used to Indian society. They got used to Indian society, living at the bottom of that society. Who want to get used to some stupid crap like that? So now he's trying to talk them out of going back to Africa because they done found some African fools to use, that they don't have to use their own outcast people anymore for the kind of nasty stuff that they're trying to do. They could use African people now. And so everywhere we go, we're going to be at the bottom of the ladder, getting the brunt of the crap, because the European people, they set us up for that. They set us up for that. And it's a funny thing that everywhere you go, African people are in the same thing, you know. And it's a you know what, man? I even was looking at this documentary about this guy talking about, you know, he's into this African mumbo jumbo crap, talking about juju and do and that and all kind of crap. But what I noticed was he talking all that voodoo and all this juju and bullshit African crap. But in the back of his house, there is a big picture of Jesus. You see that? He talking like he believe in all this African mumbo jumbo crap, but in the back of his thing, there's a big picture of Jesus. So you know what I mean? It's just we so indoctrinated that we don't even know what we believe as black people. We don't even know who we are as black people. You know what I mean? It's just a couple of days yesterday, a couple of days this week. So it probably wasn't even yesterday, but yeah, probably, you know. But anyway, this week self, I was talking to this black guy, man. That's how lost we are. I had more respect for this dude because I really hang around with him. I thought that he knew who he was. But this fool proceeded to tell me that he ain't black. Blacker than a motherfucker. He black, but he proceeded to tell me he's not black because he got all kind of shit in his family. I could look at this fool and see he ain't got nothing in his family that would warrant him saying that he's not black. You know what I mean? Because when you look at him, that's all you see. But he's convinced himself he's not black. So I asked him, now, partner, if you're not black, what are you? He said he's a mutt. Now, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. A black man is going to describe himself as a mutt. He'd rather describe himself as a mutt as opposed to being an African man. You know, and that's how we are so messed up. These people we messed up from the floor up, and we don't know what to do, what to say, and how to get out of it. You know, we don't know what to do and what to say and how to get out of it. But the first thing that we have to do is a mental thing, man. These people got us trapped because they put us in a mindset to accept the trap. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing. We in a mindset to accept the trap, and they're enforcing it on us. You know, it's like, but you know what I mean? Nowadays, African people, we're not as stupid as we're not our grandparents. You know what I'm saying? We're not our grandparents. We African people don't grow a brain now. You know what I mean? So you can't tell us that kind of bullcrap they used to tell our indoctrinated grandparents. You know, it's like this, man. You know, the people get together in the Caribbean islands. All these Caribbean islands experience slavery, and come to realize, man, they're not getting out of the mess that they're in. without reparations, man, because African people don't work 400-500 years for free. And our parents, foreparents, didn't leave us no inheritance out of all that work that they did. European people got all the money. So now we go up and we go petition the Queen and say, hey Queen, what's going on, man? You know, you got all this money. A lot of it you got from our ancestors being slaves. It's time you think about paying us some reparations. Okay, that sounds logical to most people, you know what I mean? You got rich on slavery and a bunch of other crap, and it's time now to start giving us back some of the money that you made on our foreparents. Man, that's not gonna work. These greedy people, they're not gonna give us nothing. The Queen came back and say, boy, when I was making money off of slavery, slavery was legal. So slavery was legal when I was making money off of slavery. This is my money. I don't know what you are talking about. So you can see the greediness in these people. The Queen wakes up every morning, she gets a check for over $350 million every day. That's the greediness of these people. How could you respect these people, man? How could you respect all these people when you see how they are? You know what I mean? You done lost respect for them because you see that they ain't, you know what I mean? They ain't what they cracked out to be, you know? It's just greediness on top of greediness. They ain't no upright, outstanding people for you to go look up to because you can see how they roll with their thing. You know what I'm saying? So the Queen decided slavery was legal when she was making off of slavery. So this is her money. So we don't have no argument. And so we have to go ahead and accept that. But we don't, you know what I mean? We accept it, we hear what she said, but we know it's crap. She know it's crap. You know what I mean? Because her foreparents is who made them laws. You know what I mean? So you was the one who made the laws. If you didn't make the laws, there wouldn't be no law condoning slavery, except that your foreparents made the laws. So you made the laws and now you want to come tell me about the law. And that's how they keep trapping us, man. That's how they keep trapping us, because we ain't got no argument when it comes to these people. You know what I'm saying? They made these laws and all this stuff up when we were hoodwinked in slavery. We don't have nothing to do with none of the laws. So every time an issue comes up, all they have to do is go back in the past and come and tell us, oh, you know, back in 17 this, you know, we made this law, you know, about what's going to happen in this situation, and you know, this is what we have to do, and it's all supposed to benefit Europe. So they're always going to come up, oh, this is in the Bible from 1600, and this is how it's supposed to be, and you know, that's how, every time we try to bring up an issue, they bring us back to 17 something or 16 something or 18 something when they made some law to keep us down, and they keep referring it back to that. You know what I mean? And it's the funny thing how that works. And it don't work. It don't work for black people like that. You know what I mean? Every time we try to bring up an issue about slavery, about reparations, about stuff that happened to us, to our foreparents, oh, the first thing they got to tell us is, oh, you all need to stop living in the past. You know what I mean? It's always for them to live in the past, but when we got to come up with something from the past, oh, stop living in the past. And it's the most manipulative thing that they do to we. You know what I mean? The most manipulative things that they do to us. Because living in the past, what the hell is that? You know what I mean? That's where you go for all your references. You're living in the past. You know what I mean? And to tell you the truth, it's so manipulative that it gets me upset sometimes when people tell me that. Don't stop living in the past. Where the hell else you gonna live? Everything, that's where everything else is. Everything is in the past. Everything I just said a minute ago is already in the past. You know what I mean? We can't live we can't live in the future. The future ain't here yet, and everything we do in the present keeps slipping into the past. So you know what I mean? That's where everything is. Everybody is living in the past, because that's where everything happened. So when people come tell me, don't stop living in the past, where the hell else are you going to live? You know what I mean? The past is where everything is. And they know it, but they want to manipulate us with it. You know what I mean? They know it, because that's where they go for all their information and for all their power. to come tell you about what keep happening back in 18 this and 17 this, and you know what I mean? So as long as they're going to keep going back there for their references, and they're going to prevent us from going back there for ours, you know, we in an endless trap. You know what I mean? We in an endless trap with these people. You know, and it's not a good thing for us. You know, it's not a good thing for us, because we don't even recognize who we are as African people. You know what I mean? They brought us out here, and we don't even recognize ourselves as African people anymore. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We don't. This brother telling me he's a mutt. Now, who the hell refers to themselves as a mutt? Saying, you know, I mean, I know people. Their father is a white man, or their mama is a white woman, and they still consider themselves African. You know what I mean? But here is this dude. Both of his parents, I can't see, when he showed me the picture of his parents, both of them look black to me, from New York, wherever they're from, you know what I mean? But he wants to convince himself that he got Indian blood and white blood and blah, blah, blah. And I don't know why we do that to ourselves. Everybody know who we are but us. You know what I'm saying? These people calling you African American. Dumbass. That's what they're calling you, African American. But you don't even know who you are. You want to call yourself a mutt. And it's kind of upsetting when I meet people like that, man. It's the dumbness in us that we don't even know who we are. Then we wonder why we can't get nowhere in life. You know what I mean? We can't get nowhere in life because of this false identity that we have. We don't even know who we are. You know what I mean? How you going to get anywhere? You don't know who you are. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're from. Can't go nowhere with that, man. Can't go nowhere with that. You know what I mean? And so when we come to try to tell you about Rastafari now, you know what I mean? To put you in the category that you're in, your head so full up with all this mutt stuff and you know what I mean? And all this breakdown of how they try to do to us. You can't even see yourself in a whole picture, in a light. You can't see yourself as a whole person, because you know what I mean? They done brought you down. They done brought you down from the status that God gave you as a human being. They done brought you down from that now, and so you're just confused about who you are. And that's where we are as black people, man. And it's a sorry state. You know, it's a sorry state, and I can't really see how we're gonna get out of this sorry state without knowing ourselves. And that's the picture which I'm trying to bring to. We're trying to bring it anyway, man, because it's not me alone. It's not me alone. I listen to other people talking about this thing here, and they're frustrated. You know what I mean? A lot of them, they get frustrated because they don't think that African people is listening to them anyway, and they want African people to listen to what they gotta say. And we should listen to what they gotta say, because we done listen to this other bullcrap here, you know, for 400 or 500 years, and it now do nothing for us. It ain't doing nothing for us, because we in a worse position than we used to be. You know what I mean? And the rich folks, all they're doing is getting richer and richer and richer, and you know what I mean? It's not, and the rich European folks, they're getting richer and richer. They're not going to share nothing with these poor European folks. You know what I'm saying? I say European all the time. But believe you me, when I say European, I'm not talking about, you know what I mean? Let me clear this. If your mama from Poland and your daddy from Ireland or wherever, yeah, you're European. But I'm not talking about you when you're working at McDonald's. You know what I mean? You know, because poor white people in this struggle too. You know what I'm saying? Poor white people in this struggle. So if you're European, you know what I mean, you're working at McDonald's, you're working wherever you're working at, I'm not talking about you trying to survive just like black people trying to survive, because a lot of the times Europeans can be victims of European domination, believe it or not. You know what I mean? Europeans can be victims of Europeans too. You know what I'm saying? So if you're European and you got your job at McDonald's and you're doing your little this and that, nobody talking about you. We're talking about the European people who established this thing, the Queen Elizabeth type Europeans. Them people making, they build up their empire. They're making, the Queen is making over $350 million every day. Them the kind of Europeans we're talking about. The people that waking up every day $300 million richer, $250 million richer. Every morning they get up with millions and millions and millions of dollars. They ain't got to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? The empire has been set up from back in the day. You know, they have this thing set and it's on automatic, and every morning they get up, they get money from it. You know, that's them the type of European people I'm talking about. I'm not talking about no poor European man who's struggling and trying to get on the system. You know what I mean? Don't flatter yourself. I'm not talking about, I won't come out here to make a video and do all this stuff talking about poor, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I'm looking at poor European people. I'm sorry for them too, because a lot of the times they're more lost than black people, because it's like homeboy was telling me, you know, he think a lot of you know, he grew up with, his father is a prejudiced kind of guy, so he grew up with a lot of racial prejudice coming out of his father towards him, and his father was teaching him how to be a racially prejudiced person. And I met this dude, his name is Mike. I met him playing pool, and he was telling me, because he over it now, you know, he realized that his father was just giving his personal opinion, because as he said, as he grew up, he realized a lot of the racial stuff that his father was telling him about black people turns out not to be true. So his father was raising him to be a racist, but he come out in the real world and realized, man, my father was full of shit. All this stuff that he was telling me about black people is not real. And so with that, he started losing respect for his father, because he don't think his father raised him right. And his first experiences in this world were negative because of that, because every time he got to go find a job and he run into a black boss, he gets fired, because he got a warped sense of what's going on in the world. Because his thinking is the black man is going to get fired because he trying to get rid of his black boss. And when the rich white folks go see the situation, he'll get fired. So he keep on finding out that he can't get the black man fired because he's trying to keep up with racial shit in the workplace. And so once he find out that, he kind of chilling back until he gets to the point where he is now. It's like, and he lost respect. I mean, he still loves his father, but you can see when he talked to his father on the phone, he lost respect for his father, because he don't think that his father is in touch with reality. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times when you're teaching your kids a lot of this stupid racial stuff, and they come to find out it ain't true, and black people do it too. Talk a bunch of kids about the stupid stuff about white people, and then when the kids come out to realize, hey, this bull crap that we're talking about white people, it's not real. You know what I mean? So you're like, man, you know what, man? I'm not really listening. And I mean, just like me, you know what I mean? It's like when I was growing up, my mom would tell me a bunch of crap about this Bible and do. And I grew up to realize a lot of the stuff that my mama was telling me about Christianity and Bible and all this stuff is not real. And you know what I mean? I still love my mama, but I'm not, you know what I mean? When she come telling me about Bible and this stuff, you know, I let it go through one ear and come out the other, because I'm not gonna approach my mama in a disrespectful way and tell her, you know what I mean? If she been believing the Bible all her life, and she loves the Bible, and I'm gonna even though I'm a hypocrite, I'm gonna go along with it, because I know she's not gonna change. I'm not gonna get my mama to see Rastafari. It's not gonna happen. So it's just not going to happen. So, you know what I mean? Sometimes you play the game, you realize that your parents full of shit because of the old views that they have, but you know, you still, you know what I mean? You still got to respect them, and you know what I mean? You find a way to get around that, because you know what I mean? You don't want you to live your life on a full of shit level like they did. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that in every way. So I'm saying, black folks, poor black folks, poor white folks, we're in a dilemma. You know what I mean? And it's a different dilemma. You know what I mean? I'm trying to establish. We're trying to establish something where African people could be African people. So you know what I mean? It's like slavery is over. These people say we're free now, but we're not acting free. You know what I mean? We're not acting free. We're still following everything they do. You know what I mean? We're scared to move into living into our own DNA. We're still living in the European people DNA. And so, you know what I mean? Sometimes they look at, man, you're all free now. Stop acting so fucked up and start acting like free people. Stop trying to be so European. We European. You are not. You know what I'm saying? And so, that's the whole thing. You know what I mean? When people see you not respecting yourself, they're not going to respect you neither. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole thing, man. People see us not respecting ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We don't love Africa. We don't love nothing about, you know what I mean, being African. So nobody else is gonna either. You know, it's like, you know, we need to take a book out of these Chinese people philosophy, man. You know, because the Chinese people, boy, they're recovering nicely from the domination. I mean, the Indian people too, recovering nicely from the European domination. You know, we need to take a book from the Chinese people. You know, and you know what, man? We so isolated as black people. If you're black, you don't know nobody but black people. I mean, for real. If you're black, you don't know nobody but black people. And so you got no friends. You got no Chinese friends. You got no white friends. And it's the same thing, you know. Like if you're white, you got no friends but white people. And if you whatever you are, you know what I mean. They talk about America is a melting pot. America is not no melting pot. You know what I mean? It's a melting pot for certain individual people, but as a whole, it's not no melting pot. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're white, you only got white friends. If you're black, you only got black friends. If you're Hispanic, you only got Hispanic friends. And whatever you are, that's all you got. Because that's how it is. You know what I'm saying? It's not kumbaya and like that for everybody. Me, personally, I try to talk to every damn body because I try to get a different perspective on what other people think. You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to religious matters. It's like when I was a kid and I noticed that, I always noticed something about the Bible. Is this, you know what I mean? Because when you're in the Caribbean, you do notice a lot of Indian people, you do notice a lot of Chinese people. But you always notice about the Bible is that there is nobody in the Bible but white people and black people. I ain't never seen no Chinese people in the Bible. I ain't never seen no Indian people in the Bible. I ain't never seen nothing in the Bible but white people and black people. And so I always come to the conclusion is that, man, this Bible right here is just something that was wrote for the benefit of black people, for mental manipulation of black people. And so, and I was like, wow, you know what I mean? Why can't they work this shit on the Chinese too? They couldn't work this shit on the Chinese because the Chinese people, they didn't put the Chinese people in slavery and hoodwink them. We are the only race of people that they put in slavery and hoodwink us. So this stuff could work on us perfectly. But the Chinese people, man, they've been around this world forever, man. And these Chinese people, they know everything that happened on this earth. They know everything. Because Chinese people like to travel. They've been traveling for centuries. They've been traveling for millenniums. For thousands of years, these Chinese people have been traveling. And so the Chinese people always like to travel. They like to trade. They're always trying to sell you something. They ain't just started that tradition. Chinese people have been all over the world for hundreds, thousands of years doing this kind of traveling, and they're trying to sell you this, and they're trying to trade with you. I mean, anything that happened on this earth right here, the Chinese people got some kind of recollection of it because they is going to be there. The Chinese people is not going to hear about a good thing and let it pass by them. I'm telling you that right now. The Chinese people not going to hear about a good thing, let it pass by them. So when I consider, I said, man, you know what? These Chinese people, they're not interested in no Jesus at all. Why? How come Chinese people not interested in Jesus? You know? And that's what I realized. It's like, how come Chinese people not interested in Jesus? You know what I mean? They are part of the world too. And if Jesus, if this God, if this Jesus person come to put the world on a better footing, how come nobody knows about him but black people and white people? And the only reason black people know about him is because white people told us about him. You know what I mean? We didn't go find out about this man and came back with the news to our population to tell them about how great Jesus was. Let's all get on board with this Jesus thing. You know what I mean? We got Jesus thrust down our throat. We didn't come as a community and decided, man, you know what? Boy, this Jesus thing is going to be a good thing for us. Let's all get on board with Jesus. That's not how Jesus came to us. Jesus came to us with a whip and a gun and a baton over our heads. You know what I mean? That's how Jesus came to us. You know? So when you look at that, you're like, oh man, no wonder the Chinese people don't know nothing about no Jesus. And me personally, I have tested out my theory. Not just, you know what I mean, because I've been asking Chinese people about this for years. For years I've been asking them about it. And one thing I noticed is that they don't give me no answer. They go, I'll go, man, because, you know, like I say, man, I don't live in no box with nobody. I talk to anybody, and I talk to a Chinese man. I'll go in his Chinese store, I buy some stuff, and I ask him, how come there ain't a picture of Jesus up in here? And every time I mention Jesus to a Chinese guy, it seems like they laugh their ass off. For real. Try it. Try asking a Chinese person with some intelligence now. You know what I mean? Try asking an intelligent Chinese person. See how they Jesus. See how they react. You know what I mean? Because it's like they'll be pointing their fingers at us and laughing. Oh man, you're all hoodwinked and in that trap. Don't come over here with that shit. That's how I feel about it. You know what I mean? They're trying to be like, man, you're all black folks, you're all hoodwinked, you're all on that shit. Don't come over here with that crap. You know, we had enough of that. And so, you know, it's like the Chinese people, certain other people, they don't want nothing to do with it. Because they know it's crap, man. The Chinese, as a matter of fact, all these European people that with this gun, and they're using this gun to dominate everybody, where do you think they got the gunpowder from? China. China is the first people to develop gunpowder. The Chinese people develop gunpowder because they like to celebrate their emperor. You know what I mean? And when they celebrate their emperor, they got a lot of pomp and circumstance going on with all this, you know what I mean? Fireworks and this and that. And so, you know what I mean? So when the Europeans discovered this gunpowder, they realized it's going to be a good thing. It could be a good thing for them in their hunting. You know what I mean? So they started on the development. I mean, the Chinese people already had some kind of gunpowder where they were ejecting projectiles, but the European people refined the process of gun making. And so once they refine the process of gun making, then they can use their gun now to do what they're doing. And so don't get the wrong idea about what's going on here. It's gunplay. It's nothing to do with righteousness and Jesus. You know what I mean? Jesus comes afterwards, you know what I mean? After you done kill off everybody and you done enslave everybody and you done do all manner of wickedness to people, then you come with Jesus for your cleanup guy. Now Jesus is the cleanup guy. So after you done do all your wickedness, you bring in Jesus and Jesus make you look good. You know what I mean? And make you look pure and make you look, you know what I mean? And you use your big gun to put everybody on Jesus, just like how you use your big gun to get everything else that you want. And so people go around thinking that, oh man, we going to heaven, oh man, we going to hell, and that's all this stuff is just made up crap. You know what I mean? The hell you're going through is right here on earth right now. That's the hell you're going through. So there ain't no other hell to go through. You know what I mean? These people put us on this concept about heaven and hell and all this crap. And the way how they put it to us, man, you think that these people done been to heaven and come back to tell us all about it. You think that these people done been to hell and come back to tell us all about it. Nobody has ever been to hell. Nobody has ever been to heaven. How do we know so much about hell and heaven? Who has ever died and come back and tell us about it? You know what I mean? It's just a concept they have. They sold it to us. We bought it, but it's not a concept for our benefit. This is a concept that they developed because European people don't know about God. Europeans, you mean the Greeks had gods and stuff like that, but their concept of God, they didn't have a proper concept. The concept of God that they have and they gave to us is something that they stole from us. You know what I mean? This concept of God is a stolen concept from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? So it's not something that they even made up on their own. It's something that they stole, sold it back to us. You know what I mean? So what we actually have as black people is a 6. We're thinking it's a 9, but it's a 6. And that's why the Chinese people be laughing after us. Because these Europeans done gave us a 6 for a 9. And we holding it up telling everybody we got a 9. And everybody is laughing at us because they know we got a 6. You know? We holding up this 649, running around up and down, and everybody laughing at us because as black people, we don't know no better. When these European people done gave us a damn 6 and told us it's a 9, our foreparents didn't know no better. They told us it's a 9, and then we had to come and realize, hey, grandma, what's going on? How come you told me this is a 6? Man, this ain't no 6, grandma. This is a how come you told me this is a 9? I said, grandma, how come you told me this is a 9? She told, oh yeah, that's a 9. I said, no, grandma, this ain't no 9. This is an upside down 6. It's like, and you can't even convince your grandmama it's an upside down 6 because she done took that stuff and turned it upside down and do all kind of stuff with it. And from her perspective, she got a 9. And so now you come telling her that she got a 6, and she don't want to hear that. She want to believe that she got a. I remember when I used to be trying to tell older people this stuff, man. You know what I mean? And I got to tippy toe to tell them now. You know what I'm saying? And I couldn't tell my mama nothing because as soon as I open my mouth, the first thing I'll say that don't sound like what she was telling me, she got an argument for me to put me back in my box. Mom, what do you know? You know what I mean? You just a teenager, and you just got born in the last shower of rain. And that's the kind of talk that they give me to shut me up because they don't want to hear nothing that I want to say. You know what I mean? Just like when them people tell you stop living in the past. You know what I'm saying? Stop living in the past. That's just another way to shut you up because, you know what I'm saying? When you think about it, just like, what the hell? Stop living in the past. There ain't no other ways to live. So, you know what I mean? That's just another way of telling me to shut up. So, you just shut up. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing. You know? They got you. They got you on this crap. They done gave you a 6 for a 9, and all your generations believing that you got a 9 when you actually got a 6. The Chinese people and the other people over there looking at us black people with the 6, telling them it's a 9. They're laughing at us, and we don't recognize it. You know what I'm saying? Every every Sunday and every day we go. Well, we walk around with this damn 6, looking like a fool, and so that's that's something that's a peep for we, man, because the Rasta man is like the first man, the only man to start putting down this 6 and start turning it back over. You know what I mean? We got this 6 now, but we got to turn it back over into a 9, man. This man, he done took our 9, turned it over into a 6 and gave it to us. We walk around with a 6 for 9. We got to turn this thing back around now. We got to turn this thing back around and get our 9 back. You know what I'm saying? We got to get our 9 back, and that's where Rastafari come in, man. Rastafari come to help us get our 9 back. You know, we have to get our 9 back, and once we get our 9 back, we're going to be a more solid people, because the Chinese, they got their 9 back. The Indian people, they got their 9 back. Everybody done got their 9 back. We are the last race of people working on getting our 9 back. You know? And it's a hard road for we, because we dominated and separated And you know, we all over the world with different languages, European languages. You know what I mean? No African people is speaking African languages anymore. So we trapped in a situation, and to me, it's genocidal. It's like genocidal and suicidal, because sometimes we're even doing it to ourselves. But it's like people got some kind of negative plan for us. You know, it's like some people got some negative plan for us, because every time we try to get ourselves on a positive footing, they knock it down, they knock us off. So it's like a situation where we're gonna keep doing what they say or else. You know what I mean? And that's how they got us living. Either you do what we say or else. And it shouldn't be that way. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be that way. God created us to be free people. To be free people under His will. So if we're not free people under God's will, we're not living according to the will of God for us. You know? And that's just the simple fact of the matter. And that's the point we're trying to get to as Rasta people. We're trying to live in the will of God, because we're trying to get from under the will of man. You know? The will of man is not going to get us nowhere. It's a hard life to live, and it's suicidal and genocidal. You know what I mean? You got to get in charge of your own future, no matter how you do it, no matter how long it takes you to do it. And the thing about it is, like, we're not even working on it as African. Well, you know what I mean? Some people working on it, but you see, the big people that's supposed to be working on it, the educated people that's supposed to be working on it, they're not working on it. You know what I'm saying? It's the poor black people working on it. The poor, let me tell you, the poor intelligent black people working on it. Let me put it that way. You know, the rich black people making their money in sports and all this stuff. They you know, they lagger and they got to do what the European people tell them with their money. You know what I'm saying? Is they in a situation with their money, because all their money is in European banks. So they're in a situation with their money. Their money is not even really benefiting nothing African. You know what I'm saying? They got a bunch of millions of dollars. It's in a European bank benefiting Europe. And so, you know, it's like nothing African is working for African people. You know? And as long as that's going to continue, there is not going to be any African progress. You know, it's simple as that. You know what I mean? And the only way you're going to get African progress is with an African mindset, and is Rastafari providing the African mindset for us. Why every time black people hear Rastafari, it turns them off? Because Rastafari is black history. Rastafari is black acknowledgement. Rastafari is you seeing yourself in your pure form. And so when we so European and so against everything African, we're not going to accept our African self. You know what I'm saying? It starts with a mental thing. It's like when I was trying to get this brother to accept his African self, and I can't get no way with him, because he'll rather call himself a mutt than an African. You know what I mean? I know plenty of black people, their father white, straight up white man, the mother white, straight up white woman, but when they talk, it's African people. It's African, them accept them Africanness better than a lot of these black people that supposed to be black. You could see their mama and father black, their grandmama and father was black, and they come from a whole line of black people, but you can't tell them nothing about Africa. You know what I mean? It's just like some stupid black folks, we're going to have to leave them behind. So it's like, don't frustrate yourself with people like that, you know what I mean? Because it is frustrating. I hear these guys, they're frustrating because they can't get nowhere talking to black people about black consciousness. And it's kind of frustrating thing sometimes, but life is gonna go on, and the thing about it is we're gonna reap what we sow in life. And so when you don't sow nothing, you don't reap nothing. So leave them stupid people alone. I tell you what, man, they are still African people living on plantations, over there in like certain parts of South Carolina and Alabama, and they're still living on that kind of slavery kind of system, because even though slavery was over 150 years ago, they didn't get the memo. You know, they didn't get the memo, so they're still on the plantation. And it's going to be like that for black people everywhere. Not everybody is going to get the memo that black people is moving on. Not everybody is going to get the memo. So if you're moving on, just stay with the crowd that's moving on. Leave them people behind. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not everybody's going to get on board with this. And so just know that. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, the truth is going to stand firm. But because, you know what I mean? The truth is something you can't get around. You know what I'm saying? And so people who know the truth, that speaking the truth, that's what's going to stand firm. A lie got a shelf life. You know what I mean? The lie is gonna last for a little while, and then it's gonna fade away, because the truth is gonna stand firm. It's a lot. It's like when you tell somebody something, and they come to find out it's not true what you told them, they lose respect for you automatically. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of this thing is gonna work out, because it's a lie, and the more people start finding out, man, this shit is a lie, it's like they lose respect for it. And it's something that it's automatic, man. You know what I mean? It's automatic. You can't help yourself when somebody tell you a lie. You're not gonna go back to them to tell you another lie. You know what I mean? Just like I was telling you, just like I'm saying, you know what I mean? It's like you love your parents, but when you found out, I mean, they don't tell you a lie on purpose, but you find out what they believe in from their ancient way of being raised up. It's a lie, and though they try to teach it to you, you're not going to offend them by telling them, shut up, it's a damn lie. You know what I mean? It's like when I was a kid, and I would go to school, and they would tell me, Christopher Columbus discovered this new world, and Christopher Columbus is all this great man, and Christopher Columbus blah 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 blah. And then I would go to the hood, or go home to my neighborhood, and after school get around the basketball court and listen to the Rasta man them talk, and they ain't telling me nothing about Christopher Columbus is no big hero. They're telling me Christopher Columbus is a liar, Christopher Columbus is a rapist, Christopher Columbus is a thief, Christopher Columbus is a murderer, and Christopher Columbus ain't shit. And so, when, you know what I mean? So this is the word of mouth history versus the history that I'm getting in school. And so even though I got to go to school and write down Christopher Columbus is a big hero, I'm getting an education from the Rasta man that's different from that. So I'm getting two educations. I'm getting the word of mouth education, and I'm getting the school education. And I'm telling you, the word of mouth education is more important to me. You know what I mean? Because the word of mouth history that I get, the word of mouth education, seemed to me to connect me more to reality, to my ancestral heritage. You know, instead of believing all this big hero nonsense about some big European heroes that enslaved and killed off my ancestors and treated them like shit. Now I gotta come learn and treat them like they're some big hero. And you know what I mean? I could go to school and write down all that crap so I can pass my exam, but in the back of my mind I know it's crap. You know, so that's another thing why, you know, this stuff gotta come out of me another way, because, you know, it's like people don't know them history. All they know is this is the European crap that they teach us. And the real history of what really happened is gone. You know what I mean? It's gone to European domination, because they're just teaching us the bull crap to make them look good. And they're not teaching us the truth. You know what I mean? Henry Morgan is a big hero. Francis Drake is a big hero. They won't tell you nothing about how these people treat black people and how they're wicked and murderous and rapists. They ain't gonna tell you nothing about that. So we get a history and an indoctrination that's against our will. You know what I mean? It's against our mental growth. You know what I mean? We cannot grow mentally on European heroes. European heroes is nothing that's going to help black people to grow mentally. You know? So here I am to try to tell you about our heroes now. You know what I mean? Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Haile Selassie, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And these people is not going to get the respect because European society is not holding them up. So even though they're the heroes that we as black people are supposed to be looking up to, we're not doing it because the European society is not holding them up. And we as black people, we're not holding them up either because we're not in a position, you know, most of us, we you know what I mean, we can't even acknowledge our black heroes, to be honest with you. A lot of times we can't even acknowledge them because if we acknowledge them, we are made to look like some kind of bad people. You know, we made to look like some kind of bad people because we like to hear about our ancestors. You know, and so you know it's a way where our mentality it hasn't even developed yet into a whole person. You know what I mean? We still half European, 3/4 European, even 75% European. Because even though some of us, we were just way too European. You know what I mean? We got black skin, but we're more European than African. So, you know what I mean? It's like we way overboard with all the European stuff that they put down our throats. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how we're gonna get out of that, except with the wisdom and the knowledge of ourselves and our heroes. You know what I'm saying? If we gotta keep following European heroes, we're not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We're going around in circles now. Man, we gotta start embracing and looking into the lives of our own heroes. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? I'm Martin Luther King. I'm not a Martin Luther King too much because, you know what I mean? You realize I don't mention Martin Luther King too much, but I have to give him some credit, you know? Even though I'm more on a Malcolm X level, you know? So when I'm looking at Malcolm X, Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Marcus Garvey, you know what I mean? And a lot of the black heroes that come out of this struggle, man, a lot of them in Africa, and they got railroaded. You know what I mean? Every time you see an African leader or a Caribbean leader or any kind of so-called black leader that won't give the European people what they want, you can bet your life he's gonna get assassinated or deposed or something, because that's the kind of atmosphere that these people created for themselves. It's like with this money and power that they have, they're using it in a negative way to get ahead. So they're always trying to kill somebody to further their cause. They're always trying to overthrow somebody to further their cause. And so every time they're in a position where they can't get what they want out of somebody, they are going to create a situation to get rid of that person. And so we in a position, man, and unless we're going to have some kind of black unity where this stuff don't keep happening to us, you know, we're going to be dead in the water, because these people are going to kill every black leader that comes up. They're going to kill every positive thing for black people that comes up. And so we always going to find ourselves in a negative situation until we start to unite and come together. And the uniting force for black people is Hail Selassie, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. You know, the only emperor and earth rightful ruler, the man who come to set the bar on righteousness for people. So it's not these wicked, money-hungry, blood-sucking people come to set the bar. They say that they're setting the bar on righteousness, but they're really setting the bar on wickedness. You know, because a lot of these wicked things that these people doing, they get it from these people. You know what I mean? And should they see these people doing it, they feel like, hey man, these rich white folks, they done did all this wickedness, now we can come go ahead and do it too. So they feel like they're setting the bar on righteousness, but they really were setting the bar on wickedness. You know what I mean? The only man qualified to set any bar on righteousness is Haile Selassie, King of Kings, Lord of Lords. These people not qualified to set no bar on no righteousness. You know? So when they're doing that, you just know. It's just a self-improvement, a way of getting ahead. It's nothing to do with righteousness and trying to make the world a better place. You know, these people are not in trying to make the world a better place. They're trying to make themselves richer. And so that's why the whole thing is off kilter. You know, the whole thing is off kilter because it's all about money. It's all about money. So, you know, if it's all about money, you're not going to get much more out of it because people don't care about other people now. You know what I mean? If you're not in a position where they can use you and get money out of you, you're going to be in the way and you're going to be a problem. So, you know, it's nobody cares about righteousness. You know what I'm saying? But yet still, righteousness is what's going to establish this world. You know what I'm saying? Righteousness is what's going to establish this world because there is no way for wickedness to establish anything. You know? Wickedness is just going to bring more wickedness. And pretty soon, an eye for eye is going to make everybody blind. So wickedness can't establish nothing. The only thing that's going to establish anything is peace, love, and harmony. And it's Rastafari come to bring them values there, you know. And I mean, I could get into a whole lot of you know what I mean. But I don't want to get into too much Bible and religious stuff. We into that enough as black people. We have enough religion and all that stuff. What I need for African people to do is look into them history. That's what you do. And if you look into your history, you would see a better perspective on this life that we live in. You know what I mean? These people put us on a Bible perspective, and we need to get off of the Bible perspective. They put us on a Bible perspective for a reason. You know? That's the reason. That's why we're on a Bible perspective. These money-hungry people, they put us on a Bible perspective for a reason. They put us on a Bible perspective to make themselves look good. You know what I'm saying? Because what happened is that they can't look good from what they're doing. Because what they're doing is pure wickedness. So they can't afford to do that. They can't get away to look good off of that. So how they have to look good is by and indoctrinating you and coming with a Bible thing and trying to make themselves look more than what they is. Because you know what I mean, the reality of who they are, it doesn't match up. Who they're telling you they are and who they really are doesn't match up. So they have to use guns and indoctrination and beat you over the head and then keep you like that. Keep you like that with force, because what they're doing is wickedness, and that's how they're gonna keep running the thing based on wickedness. It cannot change. They try to change it over, but it cannot change over because people see the inequity in what they're doing. You know, the people see the inequity in what they're doing, and so once people see once people see you for who you are, it's like me personally, man. When I was growing up, and they used to make me say, "God bless the Queen," and "Oh, Queen this," and the Queen was the best person on top of the earth. Till now I grow up to see, boy, that was just indoctrination. The Queen ain't shit. For real, the Queen ain't shit. It's just indoctrination, and that's how it is with everything else. They indoctrinate us when we're young with all this crap, and then we grow up to see it ain't shit. And so, you know what I'm saying? It's time for us to get Rastafari perspective for African people, man, because that's the only thing that's gonna get us off of the merry-go-round. You know, get off the merry-go-round before it kill us. You know, it's like we giddy and reactionary, and we can't even think straight because the merry-go-round got us. You know, it got us away. So it's time to get off the merry-go-round. We catch our breath, and now we can move on in a positive direction. And the only positive direction I see for black people is Rastafari. You know, because that helping us to be ourselves, to be our whole self. You know what I'm saying? It's a joy to be your whole self. You know, and that's what I see. Everybody that's going to have a happy life in this world going to have to be their whole self. You know, there's ever a way for you to ever go and be in a happy life with somebody's foot up your ass. It can't work, because as soon as they see you getting too comfortable, it's foot up your ass again. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to be comfortable in your own shoes when you're under somebody else's dictatorship. You know what I mean? And that's what African people are under. We are under European dictatorship. You know, it's European dictatorship. Everything. That's what it is. It's them telling us how we're going to do, what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and what time we're going to do it. You know, and so, you know what I mean. We got to come. It's a mental thing, man, because, you know, that's what Marcus Garvey come to show us. It's a mental thing. So, you know, once we start associating ourselves with the higher man, with the King of Kings, with the Lords of Lords, with the conquering lion. Once we start associating with the higher man, it brings us up to that level. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to be this bullcrap anymore, because we're representing the higher man now. We're on a level where the higher man is a part of our life. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to live that bullcrap anymore, associating with this negative life that they give us. We're on a positive vibration relating now to the higher man. That's where we are. Rastafari is the higher man. King of Kings, Lords of Lords, conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. And it's not we say so. Even Europe, all them European people say so. You know what I mean? Because them see how Selassie come. Selassie come with 4,000 years, over 4,000 years of natural African history. Natural African history. So the history is there. It cannot be debunked. You know what I'm saying? It cannot be debunked. You know what I mean? It's roots of King David and King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. That's what Selassie is. It's African dynasty. That's where he's coming from African dynasty. So, you know what I mean? Selassie history is older than Bible history. It's older than European history. You know what I'm saying? Selassie history been going on before these people got so smart and decided how they're going to manipulate black people. So Selassie history been going on way before that. You know what I'm saying? These people come up with these things and started doing these things about 2,000 years ago, when they started realizing that they can take over the world and do what they want to do. But Selassie history come before all that. You know what I mean? So they copied Selassie history, you know, their thing. That was because that was the only history available. European people didn't have a history like that. So they copy off of Selassie history to validate their thing. So we don't have to go back to Europe to validate nothing. We got our straight African history from Selassie. Pure African, natural, God-given history. Where they try to steal and put it in their Bible and put it in their books. They got the fake thing and we got the real thing, and we acting so stupid with it like we don't know who we are. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just a way we as Rasta people gotta come out and say something about this thing, because we can't let just these black preachers have it all and keep telling this lie to black people. You know what I'm saying? They keep telling this lie to black people and getting in all the support. And we, the Rasta man, who trying to tell these black people the truth, we can't get no support. And that's what the brother was saying. He's so frustrated because people want to go to church and hear all this damn nonsense talking about they're getting healing. Nobody is getting no damn healing in no church. The church is not going to give you no healing. If if you're going to look for the church for healing, you're going to end up dead in your coffin, because the church not have nothing like that to give you. You know, and here what I got to tell you now. When you're Rasta, you're going to be living a different life. You're going to be eating better. You're going to be sleeping better. You're going to be communicating better. You're going to be in a better frame of mind. You're not going to have all that unnecessary stress on you. So you're going to be living a healthier life. And so when you live in a healthier life, Rastafari is going to introduce you to a healthier life. So you don't need no damn miracle and no healing. You see what I'm talking about? And that's how it is across the board on everything in Rastafari. Rastafari is going to teach you a better way to do and live your life. So you don't have to live under a bunch of crap that's killing you softly. You know what I mean? All this stuff is killing black people softly. We go along with it because we ain't on the domination. You know? And we are on the domination because we stay on the domination. These people done set us free out of slavery. I don't know why we want to keep following them over a cliff. You know? We follow these people, we let them lead us right over off the damn cliff, following them. You know what I'm saying? It's like we're free now. We don't have to keep following them doing everything, you know what I mean? More. You know what I mean? We don't have to be so European anymore. We could start being more African. You know? Since that's who we are as people. You know what I mean? That's who we are as people, African. That's what we need to be trying to embrace instead of always, you know, it's mentally retarded, man. It's mentally retarded black people trying to be something that they're not. That's the way I feel about it, man. And you know what I mean? And that's how we come off looking, for real. That's how we come off looking, trying to be something that we're not. Come off looking mentally retarded, for real. And so, it's only the Rasta man making us, to bring us back out of that stupid frame mind that we're in. And we keep saying that, and I don't understand how people can't see it. You know what I mean? We're just too indoctrinated why we can't see it. We need to start reading more and educating ourselves more. You know what I mean? So all we have is just Bible Sunday after Sunday, like our grandparents. You know, they live to be 90 years old and never read nothing but the Bible. So you know, it's how you're going to educate yourself and be a rounded person with just one book. It's not going to happen. So you know, it's frustrating, but somebody still got to do it, and that's why I'm out here, and that's why we out here. We trying to bring a certain consciousness to African people. You know what I mean? It's nothing to do with being anti-European or nothing like that. Because it's like I say, a lot of poor European people, they're in the same boat as we, or even worse. So we're not worried about poor European people. We worried about the rich European people that established this thing right here and got everybody on pins and needles. You know what I mean? You know, if you gotta get up and go to work every day, you're not a rich European. You know what I'm saying? When we say a rich European, we're talking about rich European people that their money been established during slavery, their money been established during the exploitation of these Americas. You know what I mean? They were filling up boatloads of gold, going back to Europe, building up Europe, gold back to back, gold back to back to back to back, all over these European countries. So they done stole everything out of Africa and out of these new worlds, and they built up Europe, and they built up Europe to everybody else's detriment. You know, Europe is built up to everybody else's detriment, especially African people. So I don't even know why we celebrating. Why we be celebrating? We got African people got nothing to celebrate. We got nothing to celebrate. We got better get our shit together before we all end up dead. That's what I gotta say. Rastafari.